BKFC is presented by Bucked Up Energy Drink. And we welcome you to Mohegan Sun Casino and Resort. This is BKFC. We're keeping the energy rolling here. Last week we had Knucklemania. This week we're doing more here at Mohegan Sun, and let's take a look at our free prelims. We got two huge fights, as you see there. We're gonna have all action here, keeping the energy going. And later tonight, our co-main event, the much anticipated debut of combat sports veteran Brennan Ward. He's got tough James Dennis. And then in our main event of the evening, we've been waiting for this matchup for a long time. Julian Let Me Bang Lane is taking on tough Cameron Van Camp, who's going to have a 5-inch height advantage and a 4-inch reach advantage. So Julian Lane in tough tonight. And we welcome you inside the arena. I am your host, Karan Bhatia. Thank you so much for joining us. You're probably still buzzing from last week at Knucklemania V. We all are. We're keeping the energy and the momentum going here tonight at Mohegan Sun. But first, let's look back. Let's take a look at some of the great action that we had last week. To open the card, this is known now as one of the greatest combat sports opener of all time. It was Itzo Babalutse versus Brian McDowell. 7 knockdowns traded in this fight. Much heart needed and much heart delivered by Babalutse. Now, in this fight, a little bit different. Big Ben Rothwell, boom, you see it right there. Right hand to capture the heavyweight championship. Amazing right hand by that man who is now a champion. And then in our main event, Eddie Alvarez, hometown fighter to Philly in front of 17,000 faithful. The first 2 rounds were an absolute war, but then it was time for Jeremy Stephens. Who the F is that guy? That's who. Knockdown, wins the fight, and he gets a huge win with many opportunities ahead of him. Jeremy Stephens, you see him there. As we said, we're all still buzzing from last week. One of the biggest combat sports cards of all time. The biggest in terms of attendance in Philly. It was absolutely electric. We're going to keep the momentum going. First up, we have 2 prelim cards and then 8 huge fights here tonight at BKFC at Mohegan Sun. So, to get everything started, let's introduce the rest of our broadcast team. Let's go ringside to Sean Wheelock and Chris Lytle.
Thank you very much, Curran. Chris, this is the quintessential crossroads fight in our main event, set for 165 pounds. Julian Lane versus Cameron Van Camp.
So true, Sean. Julian Lane, he's been around forever. So many bare knuckle fights, a lot of experience. He's finally doing exactly what we wanted. 3 fights in a row he's won, and we're only fighting him with the toughest guys we have. So 3 wins against tough guys. He has to win 1 more, he feels like, to get right in that title hunt. However, Cameron Van Camp, a newer guy, lost his first one, but he's won his last 2, looking really good. He has something to say about that. He feels like 1 good win against Julian Lane puts him right in that ranking system, so it's going to be a great fight, Sean.
Tonight's fight odds are presented by Kurgo, the official betting partner of BKFC.
Lots of money to be made, Sean. The thing that I like the most, Dakota Cochran's so skilled right now. He's been killing it. He's a -228. You have to like that bet.
BKFC uses the unified rules of bare knuckle fighting administered this evening by the Mohegan Tribe Department of Athletic Regulation, headed by the outstanding Mike Mazzulli. There is no 3 knockdown rule. All kicks, knees, and elbows are illegal, as are all takedowns and submissions. We open tonight here in Mohegan Sun with a bout in the welterweight division. Spencer Meehan versus Grady Wall. Our tale of the tape is presented by Bucked Up Energy Drink.
And Spencer Meehan with a 3-inch height advantage, a 1-inch reach advantage. Very similar to reach. Kind of like the smaller guy being able to get him in those overhand rights, left hooks.
This is the BKFC debut, and indeed the pro combat sports debut for Grady Wall. He's had 4 MMA bouts, 1 in amateur boxing. In our fighter meeting, Grady Wall described his style as, quote, a technical brawler. Wall said, I am absolutely at my best in heavy exchanges. I want to throw overhands from the outside, overhands from the mid-range, and overhands in the pocket.
Likes to throw a lot of hard shots. You talked about that shot, but he wants to make sure he's doing it in the smart way. He's slipping, he's rolling, and that's when he's throwing those big shots. After he rolls, after he slips, when his opponent is out of position, that's when he throws those power shots.
Wall said, I will be very active throughout with my right hand. I will add hard punches at all ranges, especially in the clinch.
He wants to be smart when he's fighting, be very intelligent with his punches. Don't force anything. Don't make the action happen. Look for openings and then jump on his opponent when the action is in the right spot.
This is the BKFC debut, Pro Combat Sports debut, and in fact, fight debut for Spencer Meehan. No Emmy bouts of any kind. Spencer Meehan, who trains with Rico DeSchulo, who you will see later on this stacked card versus Quentin Foy, said, I feel I'm a very adaptable fighter. I want to fight at distance and have a very active jab from range.
He feels like he's a superb athlete. He has great cardio. Has had a lot of smoker fights, nothing, as you said, as a professional, so this is his pro debut. However, he's been in the ring many times. Feels like he wants to make sure he gets inside, makes his opponent pay the entire time he's doing so.
Meehan also told us in our fighter meeting, straight punches, right crosses, lead left hooks, all from distance. I'm going to keep blocking punches. Meehan said, I believe that I'm extremely durable. My movements will be subtle. They will be on small steps.
Well, he has to be smooth. He has to be calm. He has to be loose. He's got to stay relaxed in this fight.
BKFC live on DAZN from Mohegan Sun. To get our evening started, we send it to the ring with the always outstanding Jeff Houston.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to you and welcome one and all to the world-famous Mohegan Sun Arena here at the fabulous Mohegan Sun Casino and Hotel. And ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you all to Bare Knuckle Fighting Championships on DAZN, Mohegan Sun. BKFC for review begins tonight with 5 two-minute rounds in the welterweight division. Presented to you by Bucked Up Energy Drink. Get bucked up. Introducing to you first. Fighting out of the red corner, tonight he wears black trimmed in gold and white. He stands 5 feet 8 inches tall. His official weight, an even 166 pounds. Tonight he makes his BKFC debut. Fighting out of Rochester, New York. Here is Grady G. Wall. And across the ring, his opponent, fighting out of the blue corner. Tonight he wears black and white. He stands 5 feet 11 inches tall. His official weight, an even 165 pounds. Tonight he toes the line for the first time in his BKFC debut. Fighting out of Greenwood, Massachusetts. Here is Spencer, Second Chance Meehan. And our referee in charge of the action, Kevin McDonald.
Kevin McDonald, one of the best MMA referees in the world, with this bout making his BKFC debut, as are these two welterweights, Spencer Meehan versus Grady Wall. Knuckle up! Called knuckle up from Kevin McDonald, round number 1. Black and white trunks for Spencer Meehan, black trunks for Grady Wall. Overhand right from Wall. Now the left hand, fast start, there's the counter, wrapping his left shoulder to the canvas. Goes Grady Wall.
He's hurt, Wall. I don't think he's going to continue.
That's ruled a knockdown by Kevin McDonald.
He can't fight anymore. Wow.
This fight is over, and just like that, a lightning strike win in his BKFC and professional combat sports debut for Spencer Meehan.
And it looks like maybe a separation or could be a dislocation. I'm not sure, but Wall, as soon as he went down, you can see he looked at that left shoulder. And it's unfortunate we didn't get more of a fight. I mean, I want to talk about Spencer Meehan. He talked about how he started training, he weighed 325 pounds. He did so much work. This guy's down to 165. Unbelievable. But unfortunately, we didn't get more of a fight, but this is bare knuckle, so you never know what's going to happen. Maybe it was just the overall power. A couple good punches landed by Wall. It looked like he just threw a punch and hurt himself.
Scan the QR code on your screen. That'll take you to DAZN, and that's how you watch our main card. It begins top of the hour, live from the stunning Mohegan Sun in Uncasville, Connecticut. BKFC live tonight worldwide. Chris, it looked as though on the left hook there was a slight delayed reaction, and then Wall, after throwing that left hook, grabbing his left shoulder, taking the right hand from Meehan, going to the canvas, the count from Kevin McDonald. He stops this fight, and in 22 seconds, Spencer Meehan claims the victory.
So when you throw hard shots the entire time, you have to be careful. You can't just go throw willy-nilly. You go out there and you throw a hard punch and you miss. You're going to either get tired or you're going to hurt yourself. You have to be careful. This is about control. The guys who have more control usually do much better in BKFC.
We go to Jeff Houston.
Ladies and gentlemen, our referee in charge, Kevin McDonald, steps in calling a stop to this fight at 22 seconds into round number 1. For your winner by TKO, Spencer, second chance, Meehan.
And we didn't get to see too much for Spencer Meehan. He wasn't able to get the victory, but I'd like to see him fight again.
Brady Wall told us he would be at his best in heavy exchanges. He tried to enter that heavy exchange. He threw the left hook, grabbed his shoulder. Fair play to Spencer Meehan, coming forward, dropping Wall, the count, the stoppage from Kevin McDonald, and the win. In our opening bout of the evening, victorious by way of first round TKO, Spencer Meehan defeats Brady Wall.
Get ready. The world's most exciting combat sport, Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, heads back to the birthplace of bare knuckle. Saturday, February 8th, don't miss your chance to witness 2 undefeated warriors clashing for the Cruiserweight UK title. It's Carl the Wasp Thompson versus Rob the Great White Boardman. In the co-main event, the always ready to fight Pick the Molar Jardine. Watch it all live on the BKFC app. Download it now at bkfc.com. That's bkfc.com. All the way live from Satellite 5, pure chaos today. It's another crazy jam-packed show. You never know what you're going to get here.
Going viral across the internet, I wanted to try it at least once.
So when they slap that, it makes it extra red kind of thing?
With all the different things we got going on, we're going all over the world.
And I'll beat the out of him. I'll give you 500. Fade the flag. We're here to break news, and I'll break necks if I have to.
Wow, we promised you the energy was going to continue from Knucklemania. Look at that one round. That is the end of it for Spencer Meehan. Huge win. We're going to continue here at Mohegan Sun Casino and Resort. This is BKFC, and we are brought to you by Bucked Up Energy Drink, OnlyFans, Atemi Law, and Forged Irish Stout. And let's take a look at some of the images from last week. Knucklemania 5, Eddie Alvarez, Jeremy Stevens, 2 warriors in that ring. And obviously we know the storyline there. Eddie Alvarez was the hometown hero. He fought in front of 17,000 at his hometown. Jeremy Stevens was the better man. The first 2 rounds, very close. Stevens turned it on in round 3. Got 2 knockdowns and got the big win. And Sean and Chris, I mean, it was an incredible night. There were so many knockdowns traded in so many different fights. Let's hear from Sean and Chris and your thoughts about Knucklemania 5.
Curran, there was such a great variety on BKFC's Pennsylvania debut. That was the largest fight crowd in Philadelphia since September 1952. This is the stuff that I absolutely love, the nerd fight history stuff. Chris, That fight, September 1952 in Philadelphia, was Rocky Marciano versus Jersey Joe Walcott, won all the way forward to January 25th, 2025, and Knucklemania V delivered. On this card, we had our opening bout, which went the distance, 7 total knockdowns. We had a fight ended in disqualification. We had intense TKOs and 5 bouts with the knockout finish. In the featherweight division, Travis Thompson versus Zach Kreitel.
Look at that left uppercut by Travis. Such a veteran. He had his opponent out on his feet. Still hit him one more time. And then you got Brandon Myers, a veteran, waited for the right time, exploded with that left hook. You understand if you land one shot and bare knuckle that magnitude, you're putting somebody down. Another big knockout. Kane Tomlinson Jr. Fast hands, explosive, powerful, put his opponent down. This was a great fight. Garbolino, you really get to watch all the greatness. All he did was avoid all kinds of punches, land that big one, and that's all she wrote.
And the fight for the BKFC heavyweight world title, Ben Rothwell versus Mick Terrell.
If Ben Rothwell can lean back and transfer weight and land that right hand, he's knocking anybody in the world out, son. Powerful, big, strong. He is going to be a problem for anybody.
Not often, Chris, that we have multiple candidates for not just knockout of the night, but knockout of the year in BKFC.
So many good fights. It was unbelievably entertaining to watch. Usually you have 12 fights, maybe there's 1 or 2 not so great ones. Every fight was unbelievably good on that card.
And Chris, you know this from your outstanding career in MMA with the UFC, in bare knuckle with BKFC, in professional boxing. Something happens when the opening bout of the night is phenomenal. Itsubaba Luiz, 5 knockdowns, Brian McDowell, 2 knockdowns and went the distance. Unanimous decision win for Itsubaba Luiz. Full credit to both Baba Luiz and McDowell, but that set the tone for the night. Every fighter on that BKFC Knucklemania V card was watching the opening bout, and the momentum continued to build from bout 1.
Sean, it's contagious. When somebody gets out there and starts throwing punches like that, you kind of get inspired. You're like, I can do that, I can do this. You get into it and you want to put on a show like that. It's competitiveness. Like, you have to go out there and put on a great show. And it can be the opposite. You get out there, a lackluster first fight, it can set the tone the wrong way. These guys came out there, put on the line. That's the first time we've had that be the fight of the night, but it was well deserved. I mean, when people get up off the canvas, show that much heart, I absolutely love that.
And current, also what Chris Lodland and I love, as the BKFC keeps on rolling. The week before Philly, we were in California. The week after, we're here at Mohegan Sun, one of the best fight venues in the world.
That's the beauty of it, right? The energy keeps rolling. And Sean, let me ask you this. We know that Knucklemania 1 was in 2021, and we've seen the evolution and the growth, and that all culminated with last week, Knucklemania 5. It was one of the biggest combat sports cards of all time, and certainly in Philadelphia. Sean, you've been around this game for so long. Let me ask your thoughts. How has Knucklemania as a franchise continued to grow and evolve?
It certainly has. You know, Knucklemania 1, that main event was Paige Van Zandt coming from the UFC in her BKFC debut. Britain Hart winning the unanimous decision, but it built. You know, there have been stages. Stage number 1 was card number 1, June 2nd, 2018, BKFC 1, Cheyenne, Wyoming. The next stage was Knucklemania 1. You see the introduction of fighters like Mike Perry. Fighters coming into this sport from the UFC, from professional boxing, such as Austin Trout, a former WBO 154-pound world champion. It continues to grow. Chris, you were on that front wave of UFC greats coming into BKFC. We're seeing multiple UFC veterans on this card. They just continue to come. And not just from the UFC, not just from Bellator, PFL, Pro MMA, coming from professional boxing as well.
Sean, I like to think I was just a little smarter than these guys. I saw it right away. I saw it, I was like, this is going to be the biggest thing. This is amazing. But you're seeing a lot more fighters. I love it when we talk to fighters from the UFC, from boxing, and you talk about bare knuckle. Some people are like, oh, I don't think so. And other people, their eyes light up. I'm like, you're a real fighter. You want to be involved in this sport. And they love it. They cannot wait to get involved with it.
You know, Curran, I think about when Art Davies started the UFC, and it was called things like human cockfighting, like dirty fighting, and look where the Ultimate Fighting Championship is now. Look where MMA is now. That's the same arc that David Feldman, our founder, our CEO of BKFC, has taken us on this modern revival of bare knuckle fighting.
Absolutely. It's almost like you look at the evolution of UFC, BKFC now forging its own path. And there was actually media reports this week that BKFC is now #2 behind UFC in terms of all combat sports. That's an incredible achievement in just this short amount of time. Now, Knucklemania 5 is a big part of that, right? Knucklemania, the franchise itself. And Sean, I'm curious to your thoughts. There were so many moments last week. That opening bout, which is one of the greatest combat sports openers of all time. There was the heavyweight championship. There was massive knockdowns. There was Jeremy Stevens maybe getting a future fight with Conor McGregor. Let's see what happens. But Sean and Chris, what were your biggest takeaways? What was the biggest moment that happened last week at Knucklemania 5 in your opinion?
I look at the totality of the card. Again, as I talked about the variety of it. Bout number 1, Baba Luiz defeating McDowell, and you have 7 total knockdowns, 5-2 in favor of the Georgian Itsu Baba Luiz. TKOs, a disqualification. You have 2 absolute A+ MMA fighters, Eddie Alvarez in his home city of Philadelphia, fighting there for the first time since 2010 against Jeremy Stevens, who was great in the UFC, and he's been even greater in BKFC. A title change, Mick Terrell, our English heavyweight champion, and now he is the ex-champion because the American from Wisconsin, Ben Rothwell, now claiming that title. And a fight I think that's been lost in the shuffle, which I thought was outstanding. It really showcased why David Feldman has embraced women's bare knuckle since that opening BKFC 1 card June 2nd, 2018. Taylor Starling fought so hard. Beck Rawlings was on point. Beck Rawlings was the original queen of bare knuckle, winning over Alma Garcia by way of second-round TKO on BKFC 1, and now on Knucklemania 5, dropping Taylor Starling, winning a unanimous decision. Full credit to Beck Rawlings showing her skill. Full credit as well to Taylor Starling showing her tenacity.
And Sean, I agree with everything you said. Those fights were amazing, but I think the one that people have been forgetting about is that Garbarino. He came in and showed so much skill, just not getting hit. He literally didn't even try to take his opponent out for the first few minutes. Ducked, moved, and just showed his ability to not get hit. That's impressive. And then when the time was right, he landed that big right hand, knocked his opponent out. That guy could be a problem for a lot of people in that weight class.
Absolutely. It was an absolutely stacked card last week, stacked card this week, and we're going to keep the energy going next week. We're going across the pond to Newcastle, United Kingdom. You see it there. Thompson versus Boardman at the top, and then Jardine versus Shields. This is going down. BKFC, Newcastle, just 1 week away. I can't wait for that one. And let's check out our top 4 presented by Blackout Coffee. Sean and Chris, take us through it.
So current from Mohegan, Sun in New England to the north of England. Next Saturday night, we will be in Newcastle. Chris, our main event for the BKFC UK Cruiserweight title, Carl Thompson versus Rob Boardman.
Another great card. I really love what I've seen from Lewis Keane. He's going against McCarthy. That's going to be amazing. Paul Cook, always tough, always dangerous, always fun to watch. Grogan, I mean, last card we put on in England, I thought that was our best. This one, it's a very good card as well, Sean. I mean, they just keep getting better.
So, Sean and Chris, let me ask you this. We know about the BKFC expansion, right? And now this expansion into the UK. We know all the other regions that BKFC has been. Bulgaria, Spain. We've seen BKFC everywhere. Mexico, Canada. I could keep going on and on. And we're going to keep going to more and more places. But let me ask you this. What do you think this event means in Newcastle for that overall expansion plan for BKFC?
Well, Chris, I think you'll agree. When we're in BKFC UK, we have fighters from the United Kingdom, so my wife's English, I know these things. England, Wales, Scotland, Northern Ireland, as well as the Republic of Ireland. But we get fighters from Europe as well. We get Spaniards, we get fighters from France, from Germany, from the Czech Republic. We go into Central Europe and Eastern Europe. Fighters that haven't necessarily been able to get on cards for Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship in the United States, just simply because of logistics, are finding an opportunity to fight on these BKFC United Kingdom cards.
Sean, it's like you said, there's so many different places. I know we were watching, and they're like, we got fighters from 7 countries here, 8 countries. Every card we put on, there's people from all over the world fighting over there. It's just shows how interested people are in BKFC.
And we talked about the global expansion, Curran. So BKFC already talking about expanding even further. A lot of discussions about nations like Italy, like South Africa, going into South America. This is a global sport. You know, we so often reference the rise of mixed martial arts from 30 years ago. We're on that exact same path, that exact same trajectory. It starts as one thing and it grows to something much, much bigger very quickly.
I agree with what you're saying. We're on the same path. I think the trajectory is a little bit faster, though. It's happening at a more rapid rate. I was there early days of UFC. I think we're much faster.
We saw the growth in Spain, and that actually had huge effects in terms of the fans watching it, the fighters that got to participate. It was an incredible event in Marbella last year. So let me ask you this, Sean. We know that we're going to Italy. What do you think that will do for Italy and BKFC and combat sports, for not just the fans, but as you guys pointed out, the athletes that can now compete in BKFC, and an opportunity they didn't have in the past?
You know, it really energizes not just the fan base, but the fight culture in these countries. Chris, you and I knew we were onto something when we arrived in Costa del Sol, the southern coast of Spain, flew into Malaga, then over to Marbella, and we're seeing billboards, fight posters. We're walking by pubs. We just walked by, we didn't go in. And you're seeing banners for Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. So it excites the community, the gyms, the local promotions, the managers, the fighters, the trainers are talking about it. That's what we will see in Italy. We've already experienced that in Bulgaria, in the United Kingdom, in Mexico, in Canada. Certainly we saw it last October in Spain, and that's why, as a company, we are so excited with BKFC Current about this global expansion. Every time we go to a new nation, that opens up everything. It opens up the fans, it opens up the sponsors, it opens up the gyms, and it opens up the fighters.
I think the rise of BKFC helps out because the way the UFC and MMA has expanded throughout the globe, it's became a global sport, and so I think people are seeing what we're doing like, man, that's like UFC, except a better version of it, some people think that, and so they get there, they see what they like, and they love our sport. It's fast, it's high pace, it's a lot of action, there's a lot of heart shown, so I think people are loving what they're doing on the international level.
Well, that's where we've been. A lot of global expansion to come, including next week. Let's talk a little bit about tonight. Here in Mohegan Sun, we have an absolutely electric main event. I'm really looking forward to this one. Sean and Chris, break this one down for me. What do the fans have to look forward to tonight in our main event?
165 pounds is absolutely stacked. Our champion, Austin Trout, watching at home live tonight in New Mexico, certainly will be paying very close attention to this bout. We're not calling it a title eliminator, but the winner of our main event, Julian Lane versus Cameron Van Camp, certainly one would think is taking a big step towards a potential world title shot. We talked about the opening of our broadcast, Chris, this being that quintessential crossroads fight. It really is massively important to both men.
I mean, Julian Lane's been around for a long time. He's been so good, so talented, knows how to do bare knuckle better than almost anybody. You can see here against former Olympian, former world champ Anguilla, just controlling the range. He understands you can't sit there and trade the entire time. He hits, he moves. That's what this is about, hit and don't get hit. He will bang, but he will move as well. He's not gonna sit there and take unnecessary shots. There's that intelligence, there's that movement. Understanding this sport has been key to him. He understands this more than anybody in many ways because he's fought so many times in bare knuckle. Now when it comes to Cameron Van Camp, he's not going to sit there and try and bang. He doesn't want to bang it out with you. He wants to be smart. He wants to hit and don't get hit. Look at the movement. Waiting, just backing up, tagging his opponent. He gets inside, he wants the time. He's a very smart, very technical fighter. Continues to land hard shots, but he's going to do it when he wants to, not when you want to. That is his name of the game. Hit and don't hit, just like we talked about with Julian Lane. That intelligence, that understanding, but man, he can put some damage on you. Does a great job. He feels like this is his time. He's only had 3 fights, but he's ready to go in there and get in the rankings and try and get that title.
That is our main event, which has amazing storylines, as you just heard there. But also, our co-main event is absolutely fascinating. It's the BKFC debut of Brendan Warden. I can't wait to see him. I've seen him in everywhere, other promotion in combat sports. He's finally making his BKFC debut. Very, very exciting. He's going to be taking on tough James Dennis, who has 2 recent knockout wins. So he's going to be tested immediately when entering BKFC. Guys, what do you think about this one?
Brendan Ward, when we were both in Bellator, he was fighting first at 185, then at 170. I was the play-by-play commentator. He was one of my favorite people, not just fighters, but people. Outside of the cage, inside of the cage, he brings that same energy now to the BKFC ring. 26 career pro MMA bouts for Brennan Ward. He has gone the distance just once.
Ooh.
He has massive power. So again, he was an 85er and then a 170 in MMA. He is settling in at 175 for this, his BKFC debut. He knows he has power. Also, full belief in his power and with both hands is James Dennis. James Dennis comes in 2-1 in BKFC. He's won his last 2 fights. He said the pressure is on Brennan Ward. He's the known fighter. He is the local ticket seller. I'm a guy who comes in from Montana, but I am going to win this fight because I simply will open up, take chances, and James Dennis said, I will knock out Brennan Ward.
Ward is an absolute animal. We've seen him fight all over the place, been so athletic, so explosive, and like you said, power. If this guy hits you, he's gonna hurt you. However, his opponent, James Dennis, that guy, he's really feeling like this is his time because he has nothing to lose. He feels like he has a chip on his shoulder. Everybody's counting him out. He's like, I've won my last couple fights. I understand the sport better. This guy doesn't get it. Just look, each time he throws a punch, it's with bad intention. He throws power the entire time. Jab, what is a jab? I don't care about a jab. I want to knock your head off. Did so much damage to his opponent, he has to take him down here. But doesn't matter, you take him down because he's already hurt. This guy comes throwing hard shots. He has complete confidence right now. He has a chip on his shoulder. That's what you need in order to come out here and upset somebody in their hometown. He feels like he's going to do it tonight.
I think that's one of my new favorite phrases. What is a jab? Who needs one, right? And that seems to be the mantra here at BKFC. Those fights are later tonight. You see the QR code. That is to get this full card, 8 fights in our main card, but we still have one big fight in our prelims left to go. Our first fight ended in 1 round, so you don't want to miss this. You don't want to blink. We're going to keep the action moving here at BKFC at Mohegan Sun.
Get ready. The world's most exciting combat sport, Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, heads back to the birthplace of bare knuckle. Saturday, February 8th, don't miss your chance to witness 2 undefeated warriors clashing for the Cruiserweight UK title. It's Carl the Wasp Thompson versus Rob the Great White Boardman. In the co-main event, the always ready to fight Pick the Molar Jardine. Watch it all live on the BKFC app. Download it now at bkfc.com. That's bkfc.com. All the way live from Satellite 5, pure chaos today. It's another crazy jam-packed show. You never know what you're going to get here.
Going viral across the internet, I wanted to try it at least once.
So when they slap that, it makes it extra red kind of thing?
With all the different things we got going on, we're going all over the world.
I'll beat the out of him. I'll give you 500. Fade the flag. We're here to break news, and I'll break necks if I have to.
We are coming to you live from Mohegan Sun. This is the BKFC prelims. To watch the main card, you see it right there. Scan the QR code. 8 massive fights, but we're going to keep it moving here. We have one more free fight in our early prelims. Let's take a look at the tail of the tape.
To the featherweight division we go. The numbers presented by OnlyFans for Jared Lennon versus Jacob Kreitel.
Kreitel enjoying a 4-inch height advantage, but a 3-inch height advantage, or reach advantage as well. He's going to want to stay long and make Glenn try to get inside.
This is bout number 2 promotionally in BKFC for Jacob Kreitel. His 6th overall in the sport of bare knuckle. Kreitel has also had 10 pro MMA bouts. In our fighter meeting, Jacob Kreitel told us, I want to stay long, fully utilize my reach advantage. I want a measured start, but within that measured start, I want to establish my jab.
He wants to make his opponent try and rush in, make him come forward. Each time his opponent steps forward, he's making him pay with hard, straight punches.
Of his opponent in this featherweight bout, Jared Lennon, Jacob Kreitel said, I expect him to come straight forward off of scratch. I think he wants to be an inside fighter. I have to time my uppercuts as Lennon comes forward. I will move backwards smartly. I will move laterally smartly.
Has to make sure he makes his opponent walk into that 2. If he walks into a 2 with his power coming forward, as that guy's walking in, that's what he's putting him down with.
Sports debut for Jared Lennon. And that is a no-nonsense walk to the technical zone before entering the BKFC ring for Lennon. In our fighter meeting, Jared Lennon, who's had 16 amateur boxing bouts, 1 in amateur kickboxing, told us, I want to throw fast and accurate punches throughout. I want to flow off of my jab from range.
Stay long, be elusive, that's his main thing. Defense, he understands you cannot hit hard in this sport, but he wants to really utilize that jab and adapt to everything his opponent does.
Lennon also told us, I do not want to get stuck in the pocket trading punches with Jacob Kreitel. I'm willing to move backwards. I will always move on angles.
Like you said, no brawling. That's not what he wants to do. He wants to make sure he's not being predictable, not being linear, being smart and moving the entire time.
Back we go to Jeff Houston.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are set for the next fight of the night. Scheduled for 5 2-minute rounds in the featherweight division. Presented to you by OnlyFans. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the red corner. Tonight he wears black and green. He stands at even 6 feet tall. His official weight, at even 146 pounds. Tonight he steps into the squared circle ready for bare knuckle fight number 5. Fighting out of Miles City, Montana, here is Jake the Snake Kreitel. And across the ring, his opponent, fighting out of the blue corner. Tonight he wears white and black. He stands 5 feet 10 inches tall. His official weight, 144 1/2 pounds. Tonight he makes his BKFC debut. Fighting out of Lowell, Massachusetts, here is Jared Lennon. And our referee in charge of the action, Kevin McDonald.
Jared Lennon told us if Jacob Kreitel starts quickly, I will start landing counters. If he starts tentatively, then I will work my in and out motion. Sporting touch of hands. Round number 1. Forward off from scratch for Jared Lennon. He's in the white trunks. Black trunks for Jacob Kreitel. And then a half-time on the right hand. There is a stagger we fight on. Big right hands on the inside from Jacob Kreitel. Counter left hook. Both fighters throwing big in the pocket.
So much energy.
This is exactly what Lennon said he did not want to do. Trade in the pocket. Now both fighters down, and that is ruled a knockdown of Kreitel is recorded by Lennon. Here's the mandatory 8 count from Kevin McDonald given to Jacob Kreitel.
Step here.
Kreitel popped up very quick. I don't think he's hurt badly, but Lennon might go for the knockout immediately.
Lennon heavy on the feint, again to the inside. Short right hand now from Kreitel. Good defensive tie-up from Lennon to get the separation from McDonald. Wide open here in round number 1. Big shots to the canvas goes Lennon.
Nope, totally
ruled a slip by Kevin McDonald. Jared Lennon cut, corner of his right brow. 60 seconds remaining, round number 1.
These guys are all over the place, Sean, falling down a lot. They have to get their legs underneath them, calm down a little bit.
There was a 1-3 hard on the jab, then hook entry from Lennon. Mouthpiece out. Giving back to Jared Lennon, right back in. Overhand left, again into the clinch, almost a side headlock position by Kreitel. There's the separation for McDonald. 35 seconds remaining, round number 1. Huge overhand left lands from Lennon.
That landed very clean, but took very well by Kreitel.
Right hands again, wide open swings from Lennon. Wide open swings from Kreitel, hook to the body, and that body shot drops Jacob Kreitel.
I think it was the left hand upstairs that really did the damage. The body shot landed, but man,
7.
so many hard punches being thrown by these guys.
Step toward me. Step back.
Kreitel showing a lot of toughness.
Step to the left. Knuckle up.
The bell, the end of round number 1.
And you can see the referee really doing his due diligence, trying to make sure Kreitel was okay to continue to fight. He knew he took a hard shot to the head, as well as a good body shot.
Although Jared Lennon told us emphatically in our fighter meeting, I do not want to get stuck in the pocket trading punches, he was outstanding in the pocket trading punches.
Sean, sometimes when you have a fight, you think, oh, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to have a game plan, but that goes out the window as soon as somebody throws a punch. And here's a couple of those inside shots that were being landed. And here's a second. You're going to see the good left hand. up to the body, and he comes to one upstairs. That's what did the damage. They both hurt. It was that headshot, I think, put Kreitel down.
Seconds out called.
Seconds down.
Jared Lennon in his first ever round of any kind as a professional combat sports athlete, dropping Jacob Kreitel twice.
Neutral corner, please.
Let's see if
Medical timeout called by Kevin McDonald.
hopefully they let this go, and if so, let's see if Lennon or either one of these fighters can calm down a little bit.
Medical clearance from Dr. Michael Schwartz from the Mohegan Commission. Now round number 2. See the measuring in and out of Jacob Kreitel to start the second round. Kreitel to the inside. Both fighters down.
Double legs.
Lennon landing an open guard. Kreitel staying on the canvas.
Stand up. You good to fight? All right. Watch it, guys.
Jake Kreitel has had 10 pro MMA bouts. Off the canvas, right back to it. Ruled as a slip. Almost a side headlock position from Jared Lennon. On the turn. Lennon to the body. Left hook. Knockdown number 3 of Jacob Kreitel.
That body shot looks like where Kreitel kind of got hurt when he went to the ground earlier.
Up at 6 is Jacob Kreitel. We are done! And victory in his BKFC debut for Jared Lennon.
It's like Lennon did the smart thing and went to the body. We always talk about how effective that can be in bare knuckle. Kreitel obviously hurting to the body. And I'm sure Lennon learned a lot in this first fight. He's going to go back, watch the tape, understand, okay, I practiced this way. When I fought, I just let it all hang out and just fought. Got to learn how to mix that in with your technical skills.
Both fighters were ultra game. Jacob Kreitel twice pulling himself off of the canvas in round number 1 and then dropped with the body shot. He was up at 6. Talked to referee Kevin McDonald. Was nearly doubled over. That was the end of the fight and victory for Jared Lennon.
But Sean, just look at that heart and will to win for Kreitel. He gets hurt badly. Gets up, looks at the referee, tries to do what he can, and then he drops to the ground afterwards. I mean, just trying with every ounce of energy and courage he has to stand up. Couldn't do it.
I know.
Jared Lennon, trained by one of my favorite people in all of combative sports, 2004 U.S. Judo Olympian, BKFC and Bellator veteran Rick Hahn. Rick Hahn, no doubt, pleased with the performance of his fighter Jared Lennon. Jacob Kreitel still reeling from the effects of that left hook to the body. Not without adversity, the win in his BKFC debut for Jared Lennon.
Well, Jared Lennon came out and immediately was just scrapping. You can see he got a cut over his right eye to show for it. He should learn so much in this fight. There's Rick Hahn, you can see in the corner of Lennon.
Not quite a Rick Hahn fight. Hahn not quite that wide open. Jared Lennon, though, he talked about flowing off the jab. He talked about being very elusive defensively. Kreitel just was not going to allow that type of fight.
It takes 2 to make a fight in that manner, Sean.
We go to Jeff Houston.
Ladies and gentlemen, our referee in charge of the action, Kevin McDonald, steps in, calling a stop to the fight at 45 seconds into round number 2. For your winner by TKO, Jared
And a very good pro debut for Lennon. Look forward to watching this guy progress, get better with each fight.
Jacob Kreitel showing his character, his heart. He definitely had his moments, and full credit to Jared Lennon in his BKFC debut. Walking through and avoiding some massive swings from Jacob Kreitel. 2 knockdowns in round number 1. Beautiful to the body for the finish in round 2. The winner by way of second round TKO, Jared Lennon defeats Jacob Kreitel.
Get ready. The world's most exciting combat sport, Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, heads back to the birthplace of bare knuckle. Saturday, February 8th, don't miss your chance to witness 2 undefeated warriors clashing for the Cruiserweight UK title. It's Carl the Wasp Thompson versus Rob the Great White Boardman. In the co-main event, the always ready to fight Pick the Molar Jardine. Watch it all live on the BKFC app. Download it now at bkfc.com. That's bkfc.com. All the way live from Satellite 5, pure chaos today. It's another crazy jam-packed show. You never know what you're going to get here.
Going viral across the internet, I wanted to try it at least once.
So when they slap that, it makes it extra red kind of thing?
With all the different things we got going on, we're going all over the world.
And I'll beat the out of him. I'll give you 500. Fade the flag. We're here to break news, and I'll break necks if I have to.
And there is the QR code for our main card tonight. BKFC at Mohegan Suns. We've had 2 fights in our early prelims, 2 knockouts, and that's setting the tone and picking up from what we had last week at Knucklemania, and now this week at Mohegan Sun, looking to continue that energy. So far, we've done that. Big win there for Jared Lennon. He's only from an hour and a half up the road, so he won this fight in front of his hometown fans. He landed the body shot early, landed it late, and next week we're gonna keep it going. February 8th, we're going across the pond to Newcastle. Thompson versus Boardman, and then Jardine versus Shields. And as we've been talking about, BKFC is going global. We've been all around the world. We went to Spain last year. Now we're going to UK. Italy is on the books. There's a lot of big cards and expansion coming up for BKFC. And we had 17,000 plus last week in Philly. The fans are lining up here in Mohegan Sun. And there is the QR code. Get that now for our main card. Let's take a look at some of the images and action from last week. Scan that QR code now.
In Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, Itzo Babaluidze. This is his BKFC debut. Right hand heavy on the entry once more. Range, and down goes Brian McDowell.
And Babaluidze just kept throwing punches until one finally snuck through and did damage.
Babaluidze, another big right hand. Now the left hand. We're one knockdown apiece.
This is what we want, Shane. Both guys getting some action. Both guys getting knocked down.
McDowell entering 1-0 in BKFC. There's a big left hand on the entry. Huge right hand from Babaluidze. Left hand. And that is ruled a knockdown by Brian McDowell against the flow of that sequence.
But when McDowell counters, he lands, he does damage.
And we are at 2 knockdowns apiece off the right hand of Itzo Babaluidze. Straight right hand.
Unanimous decision. Itzo Babaluidze.
From Birmingham, Alabama, Logan Tucker fighting here in his home city, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Cody Russell now set for his Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship debut. Stiff jab, huge swings, and there's the counter right hand from Russell. On the back pedal. Hard entry right hand, there's a big counter left hook, and down goes Logan Tucker. 3, 4. See the spear of blood across the face of Logan Tucker. Big left hand, and that's ruled as knockdown number 2. Good refrain from Dave Braslow. 30 seconds remaining in the second round. Right hand, left hand, right hand from Russell. Big sequence from Cody Russell. Knockdown number 3 of this fight. It's really been about the aggression of Tucker and that really crisp, hard counter striking of Cody Russell.
I think he landed a good shot.
Big shot. Knockdown number 4 off the clean counter of Cody Russell. Huge heart from Logan Tucker. Big right hand. Knockdown number 5.
And that's it. That's all she wrote.
Is over.
By KO, Cody Russell.
This is the BKFC debut for Noah Norman. This is the Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship debut for Phil Caracappa. 120 remaining, round number 1. We're 135 pounds. Big swings, huge right hand. Caracappa can hit.
last warning. I'll give you. Don't hit on the brake.
Trying to get his breath. He's trying to get his arms to come back.
On the left hook from Caracappa. That left hand lands. Left hand right back for Phil Caracappa. And right back into the clinch for Caracappa.
That's a disqualification.
This fight is over. Disqualification.
Phil Hitman Caracappa.
Zach Pinnell now set for fight number 4 in Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. One of the most intense fighters in and out of the ring and all of BKFC, Travis Thompson. Travis Thompson, and down goes Travis Thompson.
Took a hard shot. Let's see how hard Travis Thompson is. He's got to get his legs underneath him.
Two fighters absolutely incapable of a boring fight. Travis Thompson and Zach Pinnell. Left hook to the body, right to the head. Big left hand from Thompson. Pinnell trying to counter with his back against throws. Right hand. This fight is over. A cut from behind win for Travis Thompson.
Getting him off the canvas, Sean, my favorite thing in this sport.
By KO, Travis, the Animal Thompson.
This is fight number 5 in Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship for Brandon Meyer. Zedekiah Montanez fighting here in his home city, Philadelphia, and this is BKFC debut. Stepping in there with the right hand, Brandon Meyer. To the body again goes Zedekiah Montanez. Straight right hand.
He really closes that range, closes that distance with his back step.
Back to southpaw. High elbow block. That is ruled a slip right hand early on. To the body from the level change. Montanez down to the hand. On the right hand. We might be done. We are done. A huge win. One-punch knockout.
By KO, Brandon Beast Mode Meyer.
This is fight number 6 in the sport of bare knuckle for Steve Banks. Joey DeVaco now set for fight number 1 in BKFC. Check left hook from DeVaco, and that was fast as well. Big right hand. Banks walking back to the
Banks is hurt.
on the left hand, the right hand. Big to the body, now to the head. Seeing these roll throughs, these duck unders, these level changes. Huge left hand, that's staggered Banks. Banks against the ropes, big left hand. Now to the body, to the head. Ferocious punches from DeVaco.
DeVaco looks a little tired at this point.
Left hook from Banks. Banks dropping DeVaco here in round number 3, feeling as though he's in full control. Both fighters to the canvas ruled a double slip by Dave Braslow.
Looked like he almost didn't put his hands up.
Walking to the ring ropes is Joey DeVaco. Dave Braslow stops this fight and victory.
Steve Panda Banks.
This is fight number 3 in BKFC for Kane Tomlinson Jr. Now set for his bare knuckle fighting championship debut, Pat Sullivan. Change of stances for Kane Tomlinson Jr. Right hand, step away.